Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you for joining me for my very first ever video. I'm starting this out as a Let's Play channel, though later down the line there may be some other kinds of content involved. Or I may make a separate channel for different kinds of content, depends on how things go, we'll see. I'll be playing primarily stealth games, horror games, and some visual novels. At first some older titles, things I already own and would really like to play again. I'll be testing out the waters to see if anyone's interested in the type of content I want to provide. I'm going to work on refining my voice and my style. My commentary will be pretty much PG, as I'm not that much of a cursor, and my humor is fairly clean usually. The games that I'm going to be playing will not all be as clean as I am, though. You can see in the video here in the background some of the games that I'll be starting off with. I want to do this introductory video to kind of let people know what they can expect from me. I'm starting this Let's Play channel for a number of reasons. Number one, for the fun. Combined with my other reasons, it gives me a good excuse to play games that I really wanted to play again. And later, it may be a good excuse for me to buy and play some other games that I'm looking forward to. Number two, I'm hoping to maybe make some friends and perhaps build a community. I'm hoping that through these videos I can meet some people that share common interests. I've had a weird life, and I won't go into too much detail about that right now, but many of you know how it is in the world. People come and go, friends move and lose touch. I've never really had any close friends, and maybe I never will, but I'm hoping that perhaps through these videos I could end up finding some people that I could talk to and kind of on a regular basis. Usually I really enjoy my solitude, but sometimes I get a bit lonely. And I think it would be a good idea to actually start making some effort to socialize. Also, I'm 39, and I kind of feel like I'm an old lady in internet years, but I particularly like to meet some other Gen Xers who grew up on the same stuff that I did. Don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy to be friends with any younger or older people as well. I've spent many an hour online gaming and having fun with people of all ages, so age is not an issue for me. It's just sometimes it's a little more, sometimes you can have a little more fun with somebody your own age because, uh, you had the same favorite cartoons when you were growing up and they get the references and things like that. So that's all I meant by hoping to meet other Gen Xers, maybe. But, it's okay if I don't. Let the chips fall where they may. And this bit I know is highly unlikely, but later on, if at some point this channel starts to become a bit of a community, I hope that it can be a positive influence on society. I don't want to dream about that too much though, because if it were to happen, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work, so it's way too early to even dream about it. I know I don't have the best of voices, and I'm not super funny, so I don't know just how many, if any, people are going to be joining me here regularly. Reason number three, to fill a niche for visual novel Let's Plays. I always assume that there are at least a few hundred people out there who share any one interest that I have. One is certain visual novels. See, I do a lot of artwork and I don't have time for gaming or reading so much these days. So I like to listen to audiobooks or turn on YouTube and watch Let's Plays that I don't have time to replay, or games that I'm thinking of buying, watch how other people play it and see if it looks like something that I would enjoy or if it just looks too frustrating to bother with. Since I'm doing artwork though, I rely mostly on listening to the video and I only look up every so often. Lately, I've been trying to find certain visual novels that I wanted to look into on YouTube, but currently everyone that posts them either don't read them aloud at all, or they only read aloud the parts that are not voice acted. Unfortunately for me, with visual novels, if there are voices, they're usually in Japanese, so I'd have to stop working and read the screen every time the voice actor speaks. So there have been precious few videos that I've been able to watch while working. Also, I tend to get headaches when I read on screens and tablets for too long, so I like to listen to someone else to save my eyes and my head. I figure I can help provide this for other people who are looking for the same thing I am, for, whatever other reasons they may have. When I play these type of games, I'm going to have the volume down to a certain degree. I'll be reading over the voices. If that bothers anyone, there's already alternative videos on YouTube of everything that you can pretty much think of. So you can find someone else's version to watch in whatever different ways. There's different people have posted in several different formats of it already. Or if you've liked what you've seen in my video, you can buy it yourself and play it for yourself. It's not like the majority of my channel is going to be visual novels, though, unless they somehow become super duper popular and lots of people ask me to do more of them. I'd be perfectly happy doing lots more of those if people want me to. I just had a feeling it's not going to become a really big area for me. Or, well, anyone. They don't seem to be very popular on YouTube. I don't know what else to say about everything else, though, because I'm pretty much going to be doing what every other Let's Player on YouTube is doing, just playing the game and commenting while I'm doing it, hopefully having fun, and hopefully I can entertain some people. If you've already watched some of my videos and would like to hear or see me play something specific, feel free to ask in the comments. However, unless YouTubing actually becomes a profitable thing for me, for now I'll probably only play games that I already own, and ones that I have already played and enjoyed. I do have quite a few games in my library though. As an older gamer, I've been playing games since the early 80s. I tend to like stealth games like the Thief series, Dishonored, and Assassin's Creed. I'm really picky about horror games though because there are so many really bad ones out there, just like with horror movies. Some examples of what I feel are best in the horror genre though are the Silent Hill and Fatal Frame series. I enjoy dark, creepy atmospheres so much, and some people may find it a little strange, but the dark ambient atmospheres, they're kind of relaxing and enjoyable for me. But I've been like a horror fan for, nearly all my life. And so basically nothing scares me anymore, which is a little bit sad in a way. Basically, I haven't been scared by anything since I was in my teens, except perhaps the occasional jump scare that's caught me off guard. I feel like jump scares don't really count though, because my mother jump scares me all the time, just ninja sneaking into the room behind me, and then she'll like talk, and I'll be like, I didn't know you were there, you scared me to death. I'm sure most of you know how that is. I like some RPGs, though I don't know if I'd record any. I like fantasy and ancient historical settings a lot. What I don't like are first-person shooters and usually futuristic space or desert settings, though there are some exceptions. For visual novels, I like darker themes and supernatural ones with lots of choices and endings. For me, the art is very important in those. I do enjoy the rare otome game. Those are so rare these days. It is kind of fun, being a girl and being able to choose these different dating routes with all these different guys. But yeah, that's also why the art is important. A lot of what determines my love of a game, though, comes from how they play, how intuitive the controls are and how it handles. So it may seem kind of like some of my likes are random. For instance, I love Dead Island. It has great controls and plays really well for me. It's fun running around hacking up zombies. There's a shooter element, but I don't really use guns too much in that. Although, sniping is fun though. If I can have a sniper position and snipe off the zombies with headshots, that was fun. But, I don't like first person shooting, running around with a gun and shooting while you're on the run. So mostly it was the melee elements of that game that I really enjoyed. I did not like Dead Rising, the Dead Rising series. I felt like the controls were kind of bulky and I just didn't enjoy it. So for most people, it's the other way around, I think. Dead Island was not nearly as popular as Dead Rising, I believe. So yeah, that's, part of how I explain I'm a little bit of an oddity with my tastes sometimes. I'm pretty picky about art too, and really prefer things to look as realistic as possible. I usually don't like stylized art too much, so there are exceptions. I grew up with anime and I still love it, though I like the more detailed and higher end quality stuff. I'm not trying to be a snob, but a really big element of my love of games and movies has been watching the visual effects technology evolve. It's so funny thinking back to things like how much better the Final Fantasy games looked, each new one, because each one was revolutionary at its time. But of course, by today's standards, all but the newest ones are totally outdated. I really loved being wowed every time each beautiful new game came out. I knew that someday we were going to get to a point where mythological beings would look like real, living, flesh and bone creatures. You can imagine how I felt when Jurassic Park came out. It was just like, oh, dinosaurs, they look real. We've reached that day. Uh, but then, there was that steep decline. But because it was my great desire to someday see games where fantasy can merge with reality, I was really frustrated and saddened to see the trend towards stylized art. It's cheaper and faster to develop, so it's become more of a staple in the industry than I would have liked to have seen. Technological advancement has been slowed so much in favor of budgeting. Anyway, you'll see me play some games that won't look so great now because they're so old, but believe me, they were great at the time. Well, just see me play them if I can get them to work, that is. That's one other thing. I'd love to have a partner. If anyone lives in Maryland and would like to collaborate, please click my name below, go to my About page, and you can send me a message. I'm also looking for someone who lives in my area that's good with computers and could hopefully help me in getting some of those older games to run on newer systems. Right now, I can't get any of my old games to run on my current computers. Every time I try finding fixes on the internet, I end up with a ton of viruses and malware sneaking through my antivirus and anti-malware software. So I could really use some help with that. And I am terrible with phone support or remote fixing, so having somebody physically here would help me so much. All right, I'll quit rambling on here. Hope this bit of info has been some help to somebody out there. I hope to see you in my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or if you share with your friends to show your support. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe and happy. Dirili signing out.